You've just attended the Liberty Committee's meeting on fundamental rights in Hungary. As a Hungarian MEP, how do you see it at the moment?
You know, this is not a nice thing for me personally, but as a politician as well. Then we have a very critical view on the situation of the fundamental rights, the human rights in Hungary. And this is not the first debate. We have already had one or two other debates on the same topic. And the problem is that the Hungarian government, as the Prime Minister told many times, is refusing the liberal values of the European Union, the liberal democracy, the values and norms of the liberal democracy. He told that Hungary is going to build an illiberal state, and this is exactly what we can observe on the field of human rights and fundamental rights, the rights of migrants and refugees, the rights of unaccompanied children. We put many very concrete questions to the Minister of Justice from Hungary, and unfortunately he never answered any of the questions. He just gave a general overview about everything is okay, everything is perfect. We have some discussions and it's absolutely normal. On the other side, I have to say, this is a real danger, a real threat of the democracy, what happens today in Hungary. If the refugees will be closed in so-called container cities on the Serbian-Hungarian borders, there is no explanation for that. There is no reason to do that. When unaccompanied children, they will be treated as adults as well. So there is no reason, no explanation for that. So I think it was really a shameful event today to be a Hungarian in the Libe hearing.
The minister would say that it's his right, indeed his duty, to protect his external borders. He says that Hungary conforms to many democratic norms with a separation of powers and rule of law, and that suppression of the media is just, well, market forces working out.
You know, of course, every government has to defend the border. There's no question. The question is, how do you defend the border? And, you know, to build walls and to build fences and to close a country, this is not a solution, because the refugees and the migrants, they will go to another member state. And other member states, they have to take over this responsibility as well. So this is not a solution, what the Hungarian government is doing. It is just refusing of solidarity, refusing of responsibility against the European Union, against other member states. Therefore, I'm absolutely sure and I'm absolutely convinced that this way, it's the end of the European solidarity. You know, if one of the countries says, no, I'm not going to take any refugees because I'm defending the border, what does it mean for the other member states? And this is not the case. I'm saying again, this is not the case. This is just a kind of nationalistic and egocentric politics, and this is the illiberal state. I have to say it again.
We see visits from Russia, should I say, Putin and his government in Hungary recently, and some of the actions taken by Orban are similar to those adopted by Putin, for example, in relation to non-governmental organisations. It's straight out of his playbook. Do people make the connection in Hungary?
This is actually the same what happens in Hungary. You know, I have to say this is what Mr. Orban has learned from Mr. Putin's Russia, how to close, let me say on that way, how to close the democratic debate and how to build fences and walls in the society as well, how to say that all NGOs are against the Hungarian nation. This is not true. This is a lie. And, you know, this is on the other side. At the same time, this is a hate speech, a form of the hate speech, to say everybody who is against the government, who is critical to the government politics, say they are our enemies. You know, and this is exactly this Russian method. And therefore are many, many Hungarians very much worried about a new friendship between Mr. Orban and Mr. Putin.